A question for the comments to start us off. If you could talk to any kind of animal, which animal would you choose to talk to? For me, I would talk to the domestic house cat because I would love to know what's going on inside my cat's head. But for Dr. Dolittle, he can talk to anything. And I was keen to see Dolittle, the new film. The trailer looked amazing, it looked very funny, it looked like my kind of film. While I'd seen the original Dr. Dolittle with Eddie Murphy and enjoyed it, it's not one of those films that I personally hold very closely to my heart from my childhood. I like it, but when I heard it was being remade, I was more excited than nervous. And now that I've seen it, I don't really know what to think. The film is directed by Gaghan, I apologise if I've got that wrong, and it does have quite a stellar cast. It's narrated by Emma Thompson, who also voices Polly the parrot. Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Dolittle. I think he wouldn't have been my first choice for that role, but it works so well. Antonio Banderas, Michael Sheen, Jim Broadbent, Ralph Fiennes, Joanna Page, Selena Gomez. Phenomenal voice cast and acting cast as well. And to kind of tick the first box, it's very well acted and I think it's very well cast. One thing I didn't expect from this is that it's set in the 19th century and I kind of thought it would be a contemporary location. So that was a pleasant surprise because it gave us some really rich, vibrant colours, furniture, furnishings and costumes. It made the discourse much more archaic and I really liked that. But personally I feel like it should have been done in a contemporary setting to have wider appeal. And I think maybe they didn't because Dr. Dolittle, the first, if I remember correctly, or the Eddie Murphy film, if I remember correctly, was a contemporaneous film. But this one isn't. And for me personally that worked, but I feel like they probably would have got better ratings if it was a contemporary product, but that is by the by. Dolittle has to go and try and meet the Queen of England, otherwise he's going to lose everything. The animals are going to get kicked out of the sanctuary, and things get weird very quickly. Now somebody correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe with Dr. Dolittle, Eddie Murphy, Dolittle realises that he can talk to animals as the film progresses, whereas straight away Dolittle in this film, he knows he can talk to animals and he's done so for a long time, and he helps to heal animals and get them back to their full health, and this little boy brings a squirrel to him and that's how we're introduced to the character. And there's nothing wrong with the character. I don't think he's very likeable. I don't hate him, I just don't think there's a quality about him that makes him particularly appealing. But what I do think with this film is that it will make a lot of children, maybe younger children, aware of animals, how endangered some of them can be, and that they need to take good care of them and not shoot squirrels. The animation quality I thought was great. The animals all looked brilliant, realistic, lifelike. There was an odd moment with a tiger with gold teeth, which that's the thing, we got in these really weird situations where Dolittle was having like a fight with this animal, and there were just so many random scenarios that didn't for me really make that much sense and kind of made the narrative too sloppy. The animal characters themselves though saved the day. It wasn't hilarious, it wasn't very funny. There were a few quips, but for me it was very much a popcorn film. You know, put it on and relax, don't need to really think at all. And it is definitely more of a kids film, whereas as I remember the previous films were very much more family friendly and family oriented. This is quite, I don't want to say immature or juvenile because it's slightly above that, but I would say it would appeal to a younger audience more than an older audience. There's also the issue about how some of the animals would not cohabit, but they are in this film, but that can be overlooked, and the film can just be enjoyed as a pleasant kind of Sunday afternoon watch. It's not incredible. I enjoyed my time watching it. I probably will never watch it again. If anything else, it's just made me inspired to go and re-watch the Eddie Murphy